raving on in here, waiting for us to check it out. Check it out. What's it all about?
We need to turn this down, the volume on this.
Hold on, Brenda's got to turn the volume down. Are you sure?
Yes, this needs to have volume down. Mute it.
Are you sure?
Yes, this needs to have volume down. Mute it. That did nothing.
Technical difficulties as normal.
That did nothing.
Technical difficulties as normal.
How many? Okay. Don't touch it.
It froze up.
It's not.
It is too.
No, it's not. This isn't caught up. Just talk. Don't look at that. I will.
So yeah, we got some technical difficulties as usual. It's freezing. Brenda can't figure it out.
It's fine.
It's not fine. You can't figure it out. Oh, that's fine. This is fine. Phone's fine. She just locked up the laptop again. It's always the same. Always the same. Hold on.
No, you did because you had to do the volume stuff. So stop doing that.
I didn't do the volume. You had to do the volume.
Don't look at this.
So yeah, so anyhow, welcome back to the Rock Room for this exciting Valentine's week. Hey Cheryl. Everybody do the fun Valentine's stuff. No, we didn't. We did it yesterday. We went out for a fish fry. Fish fry Valentine's Day on Friday the 13th. So yeah, if you if that'd be probably one of my rants for this week would be the holidays. You know, when there's a holiday, yeah, you get a day off of work, but so does everybody else on the planet. So it's so freaking busy. You can stop it and then go out and come back.
Don't worry about it. Stop looking.
So I want to be like Karen. I'm going to look at myself.
Jerry, quit it.
Karen, was Brenna giving you a hard time? If you're out there, she gives me a hard time all the time too. So yeah, so you know that's why, like, you know, when you have off for the holidays, yeah, it's not really having off because it's so freaking crazy out there that you can't enjoy it because, you know, everybody else is off. So yeah, to do something like go out to eat, you know, especially on like Valentine's when everybody's going out to eat. You should see in the store with the flowers, with the people going in for flowers. I mean, it was just absolutely nuts with the people, the getting the flowers, crazy. So yeah, so this week we're gonna start out with a little rock and roll, right? Let's see some rock and roll. So
do you want to run through who's here?
Oh yeah, let's run through who's here. I can't touch this, so I'll try to go from memory. We have Lori. Hi, Lori. Hi, Janetta. Mom. Hey, Phil. Hi, Betty. Hi, Mr. Chubby. Hi, Audie. Did I say hi, Don? Did I say Don?
No, you didn't
hi, Don.
Don. Rick.
Hey, Rick.
All right, I think we got it.
We don't want to touch and go back on the feed because it will screw something else up. So as we see more people showing up, I'll say hi then, or because we know Brenda's not going. Brenda being the moderator, the mediator, isn't going to say anything. I'm going to have to recognize this stuff myself.
Patty said
hey,
she's
Patty. Hey, Patty. So yeah, yeah. Wow, glad you could spend your lovely Valentine's Day with us. Right? So yeah, so let's do I don't know if anybody has any objections. Let's do our albums of the week. So I will turn this around.
Make you sick.
Make everybody a little nauseous.
Yes, Jerry is so Extraordinary.
Yes. So let's look at albums of the week. The first up, we've got the Beach Boys, and look at these young guys there. Look at these young.
Are any of these guys alive yet?
I don't think so. I'm sure there's still a band called the Beach Boys, but I don't think they're the original members. So yeah, if anybody remembers the Beach Boys, I love the Beach Boys. They had a lot of good tunes out. This was probably not one of their best albums. It had a lot, and later in his career, he started really getting.
Phil is saying that's pretty pukey.
He started getting some
They're pretty
really.
pukey.
Yeah, he started getting some really weird. He started really getting weird. So
Mr. Chubby said they're all washed out to sea.
yes, I love the Beach Boys. I was a big Beach Boy fan. I still listen to the Beach Boys. Brenda doesn't. I do. I'm a Beach Boys fan. Next up, right down the line there, the Bee Gees. Everybody remember the Bee Gees? And this was when Andy was with them, before Andy went on the solo career. And look, they all have their hair, right? So yeah, that's changed, and this has got a couple other songs on there that
Hi, Josh.
I think, hey Josh, I started a joke. I guess that was probably the hit off this album, which was kind of again like a weird song, but yeah, that Bee Gees. And then Bee Gees, if anybody doesn't know, Bee Gees went on to do the disco, and that's where the Bee Gees became really popular, was in the disco
era. I used to do
era.
the bus stop to them.
So yeah, the Bee Gees. Wow, the Bee Gees. Next up, we got the band. And if anybody remembers, the band was the band. Name the band. Yeah, how can you do that, huh? The band named the band. So the band, they had a lot of different hits over the years. I think I don't know if anybody remembers, but the night they laid old Dixie down. I think they did like One Toke Over the Line. Yeah, so the band, a lot of good tunes. If anybody remembers the band, yeah, the band. Next up, we got Blind Faith. And if anybody remembers Blind Faith had a lot of good tunes. And if anybody's not familiar with Blind Faith, that's where Eric Clapton.
You're way too close.
No, I'm not.
Oh, okay.
Eric Clapton, Stevie Winwood, Ginger Baker used to be really, really renowned back then. So this is before these guys all went their separate ways, formed their different bands. Yeah, this is a really good album. Blind Faith, early Stevie Winwood, early Eric Clapton, really good tunes. Next up, we have the Hollies. Anybody remember the Hollies? Hollies had a lot of good tunes out too. Back in the day, Bus Stop, Carrie Ann, look through any window, stop.
Eric Clapton was in Cream
really
also?
good. What's that?
Eric Clapton was in Cream also.
That wasn't Cream. That was Blind Faith. But yes, he went on to do Cream. Yeah, and if you really follow albums and follow these musicians, you really find out how many different bands these guys were in and out of as they progressed into being what I guess not nowadays, but then what they ended up being. And it's kind of interesting to see how people come and go. This is the one I had on the cover photo. This is a Blue Oyster Cult. A lot of people aren't familiar with Blue Oyster Cult. They had a lot of good popular tunes. They had some radio hits and stuff, but my favorite Blue Oyster Cult tune was, of course, Godzilla. That was the classic. Go, go, Godzilla. Okay, next up we got It's a Beautiful Day. Does anybody remember It's a Beautiful Day? And yeah, this was actually a group. It's a Beautiful Day. They had that song, they had this one song out called White Bird. And that was probably their most popular tune was White Bird. It's kind of a long song, but yes, that was a really good hit back in the day. It's a Beautiful Day, White Bird. Okay, next up we
Rick's
have.
seen Blue Oyster Cult in concert.
Oh, did you? Nice, Rick.
That's cool.
Next is Humble Pie. Anybody remembers Humble Pie? Like one of their famous tunes was 30 Days in the Hole. 30 Days in the Hole was a song about drugs and being locked up and being held 30 days in a hole, was in the hole, 30 days in the hole. So yeah, that was a drug reference song. Humble Pie, good rock and roll band, good early rock and roll band. Next up, we've got the Union Gap, and they kind of wore these Union Civil War costumes, and I've seen them in Confederate attire too. But yeah, they had some pretty good tunes too.
Don wants to know if anybody guessed the thumbnail cover.
The thumbnail. If anybody guessed the Blue Oyster Cult thumbnail cover, I know I did, but I cheated. I was well informed. And here's another one. Does everybody remember Sha Na Na? Remember this was the doo wop. These guys like did a lot of different songs, and it was that kind of doo wop. You know, they
Rick's saying he knows all these bands so
yes,
far.
so the old doo wop, you know, sha na 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 na. That was Sha Na Na, the golden age. They were
Daddy's mom loved him.
and they were kind of like the dying out of the 50s,
Dip,
the
dip,
50s
dip.
tunes. Okay, here we have Tarkio from Brewer and Shipley. And if anybody remembers, oh yeah, this is Brewer and Shipley, I think, did the One Toke Over the Line. Am I not mistaken? Yes. If anybody remembers that song, if you don't remember Brewer and Shipley, it was One Toke Over the Line, Sweet Jesus, One Toke Over the Line. Remember that song? That was a really good tune. That was their big hit. That was Brewer and Shipley. Okay, next up we have Rare Earth. Ooh, Rare Earth. Yeah, Rare Earth had a lot of. That was another '60s band. Had a lot of good hits. Tobacco Road, Feeling All Right, and Feeling All Right was a song that actually quite a few bands went on to do. Same with Tobacco Road. I know a couple other bands that ended up doing, and that's another thing too, is to see these early versions of the songs that you kind of know later in life when these guys might even been the guys that wrote it. And
Don said he's seen the Blue Oyster Cult.
Right.
And he's seen the big animated
head. The head?
Yeah.
Yes.
Now that would be cool to see.
So there, look at it. Look at the 60s attire too, boy, if that isn't psychedelic 60s. Nice. Okay, and then the last one is Blood Rock. Everybody remember Blood Rock? And this is Blood Rock's third album, Blood Rock. Ooh, isn't that scary? Blood Rock. Now this had like Jessica, Whiskey Vengeance, You Gotta Roll, kind of some weird stuff, kind of like a Southern rock. But yeah, Blood Rock. Ooh, really scary, right? Blood Rock. And that was all our album treats for the day. Let me whip this around again. So that was our little jaunt down Rock and Roll Road Anybody remembers any of them albums? Any of those songs? Any of those groups? I do.
Rick said he had the same shirt as the guy on the right on that one album.
On the last one or the second to last one?
No, that was
the striped one. Really? Remember one of the shirts and the stripes went like this way, and everybody was like, "Oh, what is that? That's a wrong." Remember, if anybody's familiar with the TV show MASH, remember the old MASH, and if you followed the TV show MASH, you know, as it progressed through, and it was on the air for like over 10 years, I think. But the early issue shows, you know, with Frank and Trapper and McLean Stevenson, stuff like that.
He said staring at me.
That
ZRA pen didn't know my favorite color was blue, but somehow I got a blue pen. Yeah, that happened.
Yes.
But then Patty said she had the same kind of shirt, so that makes her feel very old.
Oh, yes. We are old, and that's okay. You know, why not? So, but yes, on that early episode of MASH, Trapper had a that was actually in Korea. So he had this Korean guy make him this suit.
Pinstripe suit.
This homemade
Lori had it already.
Pinstripe suit. And he was so excited. He was getting it so cheap, and it was going to be tailor-made. And he finally got it, and the stripes were all going this way. And it was funny. So, yes, the old MASH episodes, if we're going to be going down nostalgia road with our rock and roll, we may as well go down nostalgia road with MASH. And believe it or not, MASH is still on TV. They're still showing reruns of MASH. And again, as it progressed, like later, it wasn't quite as funny as it was. And a lot of shows are like that. You know, when they first come out, the first 5 years are really, really good. And then they kind of like won out, you know, like 2.5 Men was really, really funny when Angus was a kid and Charlie Sheen was not like old like me and still able to pick up hot chicks. Then he got to be like an old man with young girls and got to be creepy. Angus grew up into an adult. That got kind of weird. And then, of course, then he freaked out, left the show, and you're thinking like that was it. And then what's his name came in there for like the last 1 season or 2 seasons. Kelso from that 70s show. And that last season, that was actually really, really funny. So that was an exception to the rule because normally shows start to tank. They start adding, like same with like Big Bang Theory was like really, really funny at first. And then they kind of started adding characters.
We want to talk about rocks.
Yes, I know. Brenda wants to talk about rocks. The one that never, I won't go into that, but now suddenly Brenda wants to talk about rocks. So let's talk about rocks because that's what we're here. So before I stand up.
Yeah, you're farting?
Yeah, so we're going to talk about rocks. So what we're talking about rocks is, you know, we had the comments about mystery boxes. And, you know, again, I'm not a rock seller. And mystery boxes to me.
Howdy, Ryan.
Hey, Ryan. And mystery boxes to me, you know, I can't understand why somebody would want to buy rocks that they don't know what they are. It seems pretty gambly. So we kind of threw some stuff together, some ideas on, you know, what you know people might want. I mean, if you still want a mystery box or not, so either way, so I threw a couple like things together and we'll just kind of go from there and see what you think. But anyhow, besides that, if anybody's seen my short this week, I made this boulder opal pendant. It's on my shorts. It's on TikTok. It's on YouTube Shorts, and it's on.
So Patty's saying she
Instagram.
likes a surprise.
So yes,
and so does Rick.
yes. So yes, there's some people that like surprises, and if anybody
But Jerry don't like a surprise.
likes this. No, I like to know what I'm getting because if you're paying money, I like to really know what I'm getting. So anyhow, if this is a boulder opal, and if anybody doesn't know the boulder opal, this was from who? Claude lad. So yes, and if anybody again is interested in beautiful opals, like the kind that we have lots of opals, Claude lad, it's clad junior at gmail.com. Just text him a message, and I'm sure he'll get back to you. He can send pictures to you.
So Cheryl's saying,
maybe even do some live chatting.
Is saying, Jerry, maybe we know you have awesome rocks, and we would be happy to have whatever you put in them.
Yes. So yes. And Cheryl, I'm gonna fill your box up with coal.
Jerry.
Coal and gravel. You guys don't have any gravel over Minnesota, do you? We got lots of gravel.
Don't listen to him, Cheryl. He's talking stupid.
So she said she was going to give me crap on the show. I heard you talking to her while I was getting ready. So, beautiful boulder opal. Nice little pendant of boulder opal. So anyhow, let me get this moved around. I'll get the thing and kind of show you what I was doing for 4 days. And Brenda says I didn't get nothing done. But of course I didn't get nothing done. It's me. Would you expect me to get a lot done? I don't get nothing done. So let me turn this around again. Whoa.
Will you quit it? Whoa. That makes people sick. Don't. What are you doing?
It's not on you. Oh. Relax. Boy, talk about stage fright, right? Holy crap.
She said her enemies need Christmas presents.
Coal, some charcoal. Oh, this thing's always a beast. All right. I need to steal the extension cord.
Hi, Joseph.
Hey, Lava. Is it Lava Joseph or different Joseph?
Nope.
Hey, Joseph. I'm too old for this.
Oh, Dad said Claude is starting to put stuff on his YouTube videos.
Oh, is he like selling stuff?
Yeah, must be.
Oh, I didn't even know. I didn't know.
Oh, that's Greg coming this way.
I didn't even know he had a YouTube channel or something. I'll have to look for it. Well.
And by the way, guys, I told him to have all this stuff ready to go.
I do everything ready to go. We need this thing for whatever. Brenda seems to be awful angry today. Angry. She gets really angry. I need to drop this down some more too. Hopefully I'm not gonna.
Yeah, don't knock your phones there.
I don't think it goes down anymore.
No, it is what it is.
No,
you need a taller chair.
No, I got this better before. So anyhow, we are going to show rocks. So okay, so this is like one of the
boxes.
The first boxes. Let me get something to put these in as I go through them. So we had some ideas, if somebody wanted here. Is that Jeff? Are you keeping that? I don't need this.
Yes, hi Jeff.
So hey Jeff. So I had some ideas like I could do, depending on what you're actually after, are you going to be cabbing stuff, or you just want some slabs to display. So this was one I thought I could do, and if I'm too close because I don't have my glasses on, I know I'm going to get hollered at, but does that look good?
Yeah.
So yeah, so
Thanks, Cheryl, for putting all the links in.
Yes, thanks, Cheryl. I could do stuff like this where you got a lot of, where you're not just getting like a few pieces, you're getting like a variety.
So this is just one box.
Yeah, like a variety of of stuff. And this is kind of a thin piece here, but and this would be more like a cabber's box, you know,
So,
where
our idea was what? Your idea was to do a cab box,
yes.
a wire wrapping box, if that's something that somebody would want, right?
Yeah,
Or
when like I
maybe
say
a
we haven't, you
destination
know,
box.
it just depends. Let me throw these all in the water, make it easier. That'll make it quicker. Quicker is quicker. Whoa.
So if this is a box that you want, Jerry will post his email.
No, they wanted surprise box. They're gonna see what this is.
Oh.
So, you know, it would be like this, you know, or if somebody wants this one, I'm just saying, you know. So yeah, so just a bunch of random, and this would be like a cabber's box where you're gonna have a bunch of little mixed up slablets. And I just grabbed the first stuff that was closest to me. You know, a bunch of little slablets that you could use to make, you know, you probably get like a couple cabs out of these. Somebody that's going to want some variety of different material rather than, you know, some big pieces. This is red lightning here. I got this red lightning. It's got some really good green in it. Kind of similar to like a moss agate. Called red lightning, which is different than Brenda's Clod Runner, which is white lightning.
I rode white lightning today.
So this is going to be almost like too big of a piece. But again, I just kind of threw stuff together, you know. And again, this isn't nothing of what I have. I mean, I have so much.
So Phil wants to claim this box.
so much of a variety of stuff and whatever that this piece. I remember this piece too. This is Brian and Julie's Jasper. I got this piece from Brian and Julie.
So this is the kind of stuff you guys would want in a box, I take it.
So yeah, so again, you know,
this is still all one box. How is my foot healing? I'm finally out of the boot. So this week I got to start walking on it without that boot.
And again, these are all from the slab saw. There's some of them might be a little thin, but I try to keep them a little bit thicker. And this is actually, you know, I don't know if people may think that's really thin, but that's your cab thickness. I don't know if we have a cab, you know, and I could show, but I guess we don't. So yeah, so this is the cab. This is what I make all my cabs out of. This is the thickness. You know, some of these are probably, you know, as far as like cranks on the handle, some of these are 8, some of these are 9. So some of these are a little thinner. Some of these I didn't necessarily cut either. That's a pretty cool. You're not going to be a good thing because some of my cabs are like super thick too.
Oh, so I can't find a...
Oh, whatever. Just saying. So yeah, just some you know, pretty cool stuff.
Like here's an example.
So yeah, so here was a cab that I did. So when you look at cabs, you know, cabs aren't real thick. You don't need a super thick cab. Or when you're making cabs aren't as thick. I know, like the one we had just got from Karen is like super beefy, and that's okay too, you know. But again, you know, the heavier the cab, or the bigger, the wider the cab, you know, the heavier it is. So for certain jewelry that works. For some stuff it doesn't. So yeah, so this has just got a bunch of kind of you know, different stuff. And like I say, I've got you know, just so much material. I can't even make a stab in the dark as how many varieties, but I'm sure close to 100 varieties of stones. So, and then again, I don't know how many I can pack inside a little a little box, you know, I just kind of, and you know, of course, you're going to have to put some padding in there.
So these are all still from the first box.
This is still, and this is one of these little, because I just figured, you know, so these, you're not paying a ton on shipping. This is one of those little, I think they're like, was like 10, 12 bucks to ship this little guy box deal. So I just threw a bunch of stuff in there. So but again, you know, like, you know, prices, I don't know, you know, it's you know, I don't want to charge too much, but I don't want to charge too little.
Resort because dog, howdy.
Hey dog, because you know, the rocks are kind of expensive to get them shipped here, you know, if that's how I got them, or estate sales. And then to cut stuff, you know, the oil's expensive, the electricity and the time and stuff. So I don't want to rip myself off, and I'm definitely not trying to rip anybody else off. Like I say, I'm new at this selling game, but you know, I thought, you know, like, you know, whatever I can fit in, like a little, you know, if well, let me move this one off to the side. So if, you know, this one has, if you look here, let me stack this up. And yeah, this easily fit into this box. But again, you're going to want some, you know, some packing in there. But this was 20 different stones in there. So, yeah, I don't know if you want to grab, don't put it on the table. I don't want to get the table get wet. Put it on the floor or something. So yeah, so that one has like 20. And again, like you say, that would be like a cabbers, you know, somebody that's going to want a lot of different stuff. And then, you know, where you're going to want a couple cabs of like a bunch of different stuff. Now this one,
so now that was the first box. This is the second
box. Yeah, this is the one. Now this one has, it's got 8 slabs, but again, they're bigger slabs. And again, so with this, you're going to be able to, you know, even have like drawn on, you know, and this is actually, you know, some giant cabs and some goods, but you know, you're trying to find, you know, certain areas that you like. But these are more like bigger slabs where you're going to be able to get more cabs out of it, say, than just one or two. Here's that green moss, and that's very translucent. And again, you know, so a lot of this stuff, you can't find it anymore, or it's changed. And this green moss is a good example. I've got a lot of this old stock green moss, and the new green moss, you know, has like big areas of like white and stuff with a little green moss. Mine, it's really excellent green. Plus, I've got some that even has like some red coming in there too, which is pretty cool. You know, things like this. Wait, hold this back. Oh, this is a Moroccan agate. Again, really cool looking. A lot of different looks you could get out of that.
So would you be able to get cabs out of all this? There was no fractures or anything in any of that.
Yeah, there's, well, you know, rocks are rocks. You know, some stuff's gonna have fractures. Some's gonna have hidden fractures. You know, you know, that's you know,
part of it.
The rock, the part of the rock. You know, what rock doesn't have fractures? Well, you know, most rocks are gonna have, you know, fractures. It's just the nature of the beast. You know, even down in Mexico, I'm sure they get freezing and thawing. So, you know, it's not going to be unworkable. Let's just say that you're gonna be able to find stones. And if anybody does enough cabbing, you know, you know, and this is another Brian and Julie, beautiful. They got some beautiful stuff down there, moss. So anybody knows, you can be working on a cab and it looks, you know, like You know, like there's nothing wrong with that. And then you start to work it, and all of a sudden you'll see something appear. I mean, that's just how rocks are. So this, you know, if you look at this, you know, even this right here, I mean, you can't feel it. And if I look at it with my naked eye, it doesn't look like it's like a fracture. It looks like just like a discoloration or something on there. So this piece looks, you know, fracture free. But again, once you start going into it, you know, I don't know what you're going to find. That's anybody's guess. But again, you know, that AZRE stuff is just freaking amazing. This, I think this was a Moroccan, and this looks, you know, there's like definitely some little areas that feels pretty solid, but you know, you can obviously see some soft stuff there. But again, really, really crazy stuff. Here's a big chunk of crazy lace. This has got a big chunk of the black, the matrixy stuff. Here you can kind of see this fracture running through there. Would that give you some problem? Here's this fracture. It looks like it might have been healed at one time. But again, you know, if you pick your areas, you know, you can get some good stones out of there. And this has got some, you know, beautiful, I don't know what the camera's picking up. This has got some beautiful pinks and lavenders in there. And with the crazy lace, a lot of times you don't get that. And I got, you know, crazy lace. I've got some old vein lace, which if anybody's not familiar with old vein lace, that's just the white and kind of like a grayish color. So that's really pretty. This is some of that, you know, that amazing green jasper I have. And I've got, and like I say, you know, even what I showed here, I've got so many more varieties than this. And I've made a lot of stuff out of this and entered these and some of these stones in on the Discord. But this is a real good chunk here. But you know, it's got,
and this is really, all still the second box, correct?
Yeah, this is the eight slabs. There was 8 slabs in the second box, so that's got some really bizarre looking patterns. And you know, you go from this one side to this side, where this side you're getting the blues and the lavenders and the greens, and then this side you get this crazy webbing, brown webbing.
So
look
Dog
to
is
it.
saying Jimmy Jaspers like to be fracture filled in any blasted mine dumps.
Yeah, you can, you know, you can again, that, you know, that it's the nature, you know, of the stone, you know, what you're gonna hit when you're grinding into them. Yeah, this, like I say, there's one that's, well, that didn't break, right? But
No.
I've done.
Why are you dropping stuff?
I don't know. I've done a lot of these.
No, that didn't.
A lot of these, and I didn't have any fracture. And if anybody's familiar with rocks, you know, all you have to do is dry them off, and yeah, you can kind of see. If I can get this to right, yeah, you can kind of see. So yeah, something like this would probably, and like I say, you could make a stone out of this. And then yes, would you have to use like a filler? And if you're familiar with the stuff that I do, I do a lot of stuff with the fillers afterwards, and I can kind of show you what I do. Let me show this last one, and then this is a piece of flower of peach. And again, it's kind of in the Mexican, like the Mexican.
That's see-through though, isn't it?
Stuff. No, this is
Yeah,
the one, the part, the calcini part is. But again, you know, flower of peach. So I put this down. let me stand up over here.
So that's all what's in the second box.
So what I do is right here, this is what I use is Opticon. And so what I'll do is I'll make my cab. Ooh, sorry. Do you have that cab again? So I'll make my cab, and I do this with a lot of, and believe it, like with like my moonstone. So what I'll do is I'll make my cab. I'll get my piece, and if you look at this, and again, I don't know if I can show you. So I will make, but this isn't a good example. But what I'll do is I'll make my cab. And I'll cut it out, and I'll grind it down to my first two wheels. Which are your regular, bonded wheels. And then I'll start on my 280 wheel, and I'll get it to the shape that it's going to remain. So then when I got it on that 280 wheel, I'll take it, and then I'll mix up, and I'll do a bunch of cabs. If they need it, certain materials need it, certain materials don't. I'll take it and I'll just use a paintbrush. I'll mix up. And this is a 2-part epoxy, and I'm sure you can use a bunch of other stuff, but this is what I use is Opticon. So I'll mix the 2-part epoxy on, and I'll just take a regular paintbrush, like a little tiny paintbrush, like an artsy crafty one, and I'll just paint the rock with that Opticon. I'll paint it, and then I got one of them little sandwich toaster ovens, and I have a little cookie sheet in there, that they come with, and I use regular parchment paper. And if anybody's familiar with parchment paper, you're thinking, what paper? Yeah, that's parchment paper is made for the oven. So I'll put that piece of parchment paper on that little cookie sheet. I'll throw all my stones in there. I'll put it at like 210, 220, whatever the directions say. I'll heat it up, and then I'll let them cook in there for a while till it gets hard. And as soon as it gets hard, I'll come back out. I'll go back down a wheel to like my 220, the sintered one. Just do a real fine rough on it. Don't get too close, and then go back on my 280. Go on my 280, and then continue right on down the line. And like you say, with the moonstone, if anybody's, you're probably not familiar with our Wisconsin moonstone, but our Wisconsin moonstone is very, 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 if anybody's familiar with gravel, which is red granite, like rotten red granite, crushed granite, that's what the Wisconsin moonstone is. It's really similar to that. Very, very fractured, very brittle, falls to pieces. So I make all my Wisconsin moonstone cabs, and I can show you a couple. Those are all done with the Opticon, and when they're done with Opticon, they're like any other stone. They're perfect. So again, do you want to do all that work to get a good stone? Well, if you want perfect stones, with no fractures. Another thing too is like little pits and stuff like that. A lot of stones have like I don't know if I have anything here. Say like, oh look, I left this was actually in that little box too with the little.
Well, I'll
pieces.
put that back in there.
So anyhow, there's more in there too. This was in that little. This goes in with the little box too. So now there's 20 pieces in that. So you got something like this, and this isn't a real good example because once you went in there, but on this moss stuff, you'll find when you go in there, there's a lot of these little crystal vogs, and actually they'll leave like a little hole, and it's not a hole, but it's it's like a little tiny little crystal vog. That one might be one right there. So when you're doing a cab, and you got you're done with a cab, and of course this is rough. This is a skin. You got a little crystal vog like that. That's the same thing. You can use these crack fillers and fill that, because I've got cabs. Some people like that little open vog in there. You can still have the look of an open vog and actually have it like a glass cover on it. So, because you know, if you have like a little pit in there, even with the little crystals in there, it's just going to fill up with dirt and dust and junk, and so you don't want that. So yeah, that's why you use that Opticon. So Opticon
So the dog is saying that
will take care of that for you.
Coffee bags, it was the go to save cracks and opals for decades. Held it together, not stop the crazing.
Yeah, that would be another example, is the opal with the crazing. You know, you know, if you do opals, you'll notice you'll get this crack stuff, and it looks like tiny little cracks, and you know, you get all these little tiny little cracks in there. Yeah, you know, that there's and those are like right down into the stone. So, you know,
so those were the two example of your.
Yeah, those are the two examples. Now this is just stuff I'm showing you. That
of boxes. So if you guys really want a box, he will show you his email. You email him, and we'll get you out a box. And you just state to Jerry what you want.
Well, you didn't even say how much you want. We're gonna sell them for.
So how much?
I don't know.
Well, that's the big part.
I know. I don't. Well, said I don't sell rocks, so I don't know. You know, like I say, I don't want to rip anybody off, but you know, and I watch other shows, and you know, and if you go online, here's a good example of like the opal crazing. This is an opal, but you see that? You see all those white lines? Yeah, I think this is like a piece of jade here. Now this jade, same way. Now the reason this didn't fall apart is because jade is very fibrous. So that's why this is holding together. But yes, you'll get all that. That's kind of what craze is. It's a little bit different because they're more, you know, straight line, because this is fibrous. They're more like round, like waves or whatever. But yeah, that's, you know, so that's what you're gonna run into in certain stones.
$2 to $20 a slab. Ha ha ha. $5 a slab, depending on the variety.
You know, I thought for like the big ones that the big box. I got to keep showing when I'm talking, otherwise nobody's got nothing to look at.
So the big box, what?
So the big box, like I say, has 8 slabs in there. So if that was like $5 a slab, that would be $40. So then if the big box was $40, the small box could be $40. And then of course, you know, the
shipping, which is
the good old post office is going to snag another $12 from you. So you're gonna end up paying like $52 or something like that. I mean, you know, with the shipping. So I don't know, is that a fair assessment? You know, or does somebody want something more or something less?
So wants to know how much you would pay for a slab of jade.
So we could do, you know, like more or less if somebody. Well, let me dry my hands off here on my pant leg. Hand the phone back to Brenda, which she hates, but I'll leave it pointed at me.
Okay.
So let me turn this off. Oh, that was tough. Let me tip this up. Let me turn this over. Oh, that's way too low, right? Oh, I'm stuck. Let me move this. Let me lift this.
This is Jerry's email. While he's getting ready, I'll show you his email.
Yeah, no cyber stalking me either. No cyber stalking. All right. Let me turn this around. Are we there? So yeah, so you know, like I said, I've got a lot of lots of rocks, lots of different varieties. Cheryl, jade, I have several varieties or colors of jade. I think I have some sliced up.
No, he was just thinking like
So yeah, so I have
$50 a box or something, or 52 with shipping.
yes with shipping,
and that's included shipping.
So yes, I have like 5-6 different variations of jade. Jade, the jade I have is anywhere from a white with a little bit of pink, white with a little bit of green, like a brighter green with kind of like black kind of flecks in it, and then I've got some stuff that's kind of like
they didn't
flat
get that copy
green.
down your email. It wasn't long enough.
Then I've got some flat kind of green. I can't do it because it's going to be backwards.
It wasn't backward. Oh,
it is now.
Flipped that.
So I'll show it again before we're done. So okay. Yeah. So again, that was by no means of what I have. I mean, I have so much, and again, if you just watched the last couple of weeks as I was digging through that bucket, all that stuff that I haven't even started cutting yet. And again, I have like lots of yellow jaspers, red jaspers, lots of blue tiger eye. I'm trying to think of stuff I have a lot of, a lot of the mosses, a lot of different stuff. I got a lot of stuff. I got a lot of stuff. And that's not even the taters. I've got all this, the Wisconsin tater stuff. And again, that can be pretty fractury. Yeah, so again, if you want me to, just throw stuff in a box, or do you want something specific? Yeah, if if you want something specific, that's easy. I'll be like Lapidary Dave and sell it by the gram, right? Oh, that's 27 grams. That'll be $95 for 27 grams of high-end rare lepidolite. So
Don wants to know if the slabs are generally the same thickness.
Yeah, I like you say, when I cut my slabs, a lot of this stuff, I had bought out other rock dudes and stuff,
estate sales stuff.
But I typically, if you I have a 14-inch Highland Park slab saw, and I'll do 8 or 9 cranks, just depending on whatever. But I've cut stuff pretty thin and pretty thick. Let me see if I can move around. Brenda, keep him busy.
Oh, I'm supposed to keep you busy.
Let me.
He's looking at me. Take forever.
Oh, crappers. Oh, is that heavy? I'm just trying to find a bin here where.
So he could do like a Wisconsin box. We were thinking, or a Mexican box.
But I have stuff that's I'm not gonna be able to get to it. But I have stuff that's like paper thin, and it's like Jeff's favorite, the Brazilian agates. I have like some that are like paper thin, and those were going to be
for the windows,
for wind chimes, or like Brenda's things. But some pieces I was going to use for like wind chimes and stuff. So I've got some, just like say,
when you email them, just say, hey, this is kind of what I'm looking for.
Boy, there's no.
What are you digging stuff?
I'm not digging around. I've got, these are, and these are actually blue. I know they don't look blue,
Oh, you can't
but,
see
this is like a blue Brazilian. There you can kind of see how translucent. But again, you know, like I was
Like
cutting
how
some of
thick is
these.
that?
This is a standard thickness for
He
like
was tearing down the rock
like a
room.
cab thing. You know, and some of the stuff I did real thin because I was making wind chimes, because these things make, and of course these are the big thick chunks. But when you cut these real thin, you know,
They make a tinkling sound. Was there some up here? Or
I
no?
have that one. Yeah, here. This is what, like, and this is kind of a good example of kind of what,
Tinkling
you know,
sound.
these were, this is like a wind chime pieces.
But it's tangled up.
Yeah, it's tangled up. But this is what, you know, you can do if you cut these.
Like 9 millimeters.
Yes, if you cut these thin enough, you know, and they're pretty durable. I mean, obviously you don't want them on a windy day.
The big slab of Brazilian was like 9 millimeters.
No, that was a. I don't know how thick that. I don't have my caliper. You know, it's a rock room. I don't know. My caliber's right there, right there. Grab it, Brenda.
Where is it?
I don't know.
He's got a junk hole in here, so we can't find stuff. He was supposed to be cleaning, and he ended up not.
Yes. All this stuff here. Look at. I'll show you some stuff for the people for the geek out stuff. What's that? Huh?
Is that script?
It's kind of not script, but it's definitely like some kind of like a death plate or something. That crazy looking stuff. I don't know where I just got it from right there. Oh, for heaven's sakes. Brenda, you're not talking.
Well, what am I supposed to talk?
I don't know, just talk. For heaven's sakes, woman, just say something.
I don't know what you want me to say.
Anything. So yeah, now here, this is getting thinner. So again, this was kind of like the you know, the pieces that I was cutting real thin for wind chimes.
And window, because I did a window. I don't know if they knew that. You can see
even fractures going through there. You know, so fractures, and this has got some really cool looking banding, real hard to see. But again, you know, stuff I had cut super thin because I was going to use this stuff.
Yeah, his whole rock room. I
was going to use this stuff.
Junk drawer.
I was going to use this stuff for the wind chimes, and this has got.
Daddy wants to see the window. As you're showing, I'll grab the window, okay, Jer?
You're gonna grab it?
I think so.
You probably won't even get over there.
I should be able to.
So yeah, so again, and like I say, you know, I have so much stuff. I'm truck driving. What do I care, right? I have so much stuff that a lot of it I don't even have cut yet. So I've got a lot of cool stuff that is not even cut.
Got it?
Yep. Here's Brenda's window that she made. This is made with all agates. Agates. Let me get the I'm doing a flashlight here. I don't want it like super bright. But this is Brenda's, you know. These are all my agates that she stole from me.
We have it in a window. So it's an old farm window.
That's even better.
That goes in a window so the sun shines through.
Yeah, it's kind of like a knockoff on stained glass. But rather than stained glass, it's you know, stained rocks, but they're not stained,
it's resin.
They're natural. And then other stuff that people could do with the small stuff.
Yeah, that's a resin.
If you remember,
crystal clear resin, something or other.
One of my
but it is on glass, and then the rocks are laid down, and then resin poured.
And I did this with rocks. And again, this is a all different kind of rock that I fitted in there piece by piece. And then I use that crystal pour on top. So yeah, that's all inlaid rock. And this is my torch and soldered fucking box. So yeah, there's definitely stuff you can do with little tiny rock, little pieces. You're not just stuck into doing cabs. So don't confine yourself into that one thing. Or like, if some people are familiar with some of the intarsia pieces I've done, there's a lot of different things you can do with rocks besides just make cabs. Or, like I say, with the display, although you can't see the display stuff. But again, the walls here are filled.
Okay, Jerry, what if I'm more interested in cabs than slabs? Say,
yeah, I
sent you $50 for some of your second quality cabs that didn't appeal to you and wanting to necessarily keep them. Actually, I have boxes of cabs that I sell that Jerry has done.
Yes, and cabs, to me, every cab I've done, once I do it, I'm like,
yeah. So yes, Rick, we could do that.
Other than that,
but they would be nice cabs. They wouldn't be secondhand cabs, because that's the stuff I sell.
No, because some of them I didn't finish the backs on them.
Oh,
What'd you just do with that one I just had?
The Sonora one?
Yeah. Oh,
right there.
So yeah, so now, stuff like this. Yeah, this is stuff, and if anybody's familiar with Sonora Sunrise, again, this stuff is super, super pricey. And not only is it pricey, it's actually hard to find. I mean, you can probably go on eBay, and what they want for like little tiny freaking stones.
So I actually have them in like little boxes like this. That they must be in the house, huh?
And yeah, maybe.
Yeah. So I put
all out here.
No.
I brought everything out here.
Okay. So they're in little boxes like this.
So then, like stuff like this. Again, it's difficult, and not only is it expensive, hard to find, it's difficult to work because stuff like this orange peels. So it takes, and I know Ryan wanted me to do a video on the Discord on how to avoid orange peel on this, because when you do cabs with this, you can see this, it's kind of got this smooth finish. You'll get this to orange peel. And orange peeling, if anybody's not familiar, orange peel is like what an orange peel looks like. It'll literally get that orange peely texture to it because it doesn't polish like a normal stone. It's kind of a poopy.
So
yeah, these are all
priced and...
these are all. Oh, well, let me hold on. Let me turn. I'll just turn the thing. Hold on, everybody. Grab your puke bags. So yeah, this is like Brenda's stuff. And again, there is you name it, it's in here. I know this is going to be hard to see. That's this is some kind of a desert something stone. There's some free form. No, but yeah, these would be like a wire wrapper stuff. Here's a Chinese writing stone. It's not, but a thingamajigger. It's a thingamajigger. That is a dendritic.
So yeah, I think we could do that.
Yeah, I know what this is too. No, this is. Yeah, whatever. It's something.
So all you have to do is email them, say this is what I want, and we'll get it out to you.
Yeah, Sonora dendritic jasper. Yes, correct, Jeff. Yes, I have too many things to remember. This is Meligano. And this is that one with see that guy's face on there? See him? The guy in the mask right there? Crazy looking dude. Leopard skin. So yeah, we got tons of cabs.
This is just
This
a
is
partial of what he has. It's just the stuff I put in containers.
yeah, lizard skin. Yeah, we were just through the drawer.
Yeah, so
The drawers last week.
Just stuff that I have sold
That's
at
Wisconsin tater.
At craft sale.
There's a kind of an agate.
But don't mix them up so bad, man.
Oh man. Yeah, this is just stuff. And again, this is deep, 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 deep. Purple.
So yes, he has cab stuff.
Oh, there's an amethyst one.
Phil wants to know how long you have been doing this.
Too long. I you know, how long have I been cabbing? I don't even know. I didn't keep track. There's a nice
Malachite.
Yeah, malachite. See, my brain just frickin' shut. Oop, I almost said that. I said frickin'. I said frickin'.
That's a Wisconsin.
Yeah, it's a tater. Here's a tater too. That's a big tater. So yeah, for you know.
So yes.
Let me flip this around again. For many years, too many years to count, too many years to remember. You know, when did I start cabbing? You know, gosh, I don't know. You know, yeah.
He even has Wisconsin. Are these all Wisconsin stones? Yes.
Oh yeah, so this would be a good example of that moonstone. I was telling you about the moonstone.
1960 saying. Did you start when you were 1960? For one thing, I have it sealed shut, and you're trying to open something that is sealed shut.
So, yeah, you know, 30 years, maybe 30 some years, something. No, 60s. 60s.
No, you 60s, were born in the 60s.
I was born in the 60s.
At the late 60s here.
In the 60s, I was probably surfing a diaper.
Oh, so, you got moonstone stabilized?
So with the moonstone, now you see, normally that would be, you would see cracks and pits and stuff, but you don't.
You're not showing the good flash.
Yeah, it is. I'm showing flash. Oh, there you go. There. Probably not. It's probably blurring out. You can see that this is a big domer. But with the moonstone, like I say, I have moonstone here somewhere, but I have this right here. Now this opalina, if you look at like the opalina when you get it, now the second you start and this has already been I think this has already been stabilized once with that like cactus juice crap. So again, trying to saw little tiny slablets off this, and then if I can get any off that don't break, then if you can see this shiny appearance.
Sure, I can.
That
we can write it in the.
That is Opticon on there. So then you get this Opticon on there, even on the flat. Oops, sorry. Even on the flat, that is coated in Opticon. And you won't notice it, you know, and you can almost see like a yellow tinge to it because it's baked on. You won't notice this once the cab is done. But again, a lot of stuff I have to, and Moonstone's one of them. This Opalina is another one.
Lori beat me to it.
This stuff needs to be stabilized. I mean, you know, and then once it's and this isn't a piece that was stabilized, but you know, it'll look like that, you know, once it's done. So you can take a stone that's fracturous, porous, pitted, and you can get a result like that, you know, when it's done. And of course, this is an example. I'm just using it as an example. If you want to spend the time to make tough stones workable. So you can really, take any kind of a stone, even I could literally take a loofah. And if anybody familiar with a loofah, it's like a sponge like you keep in your freaking bathroom. I could make a cab out of that. I mean, I really could. I mean, that's not no lie, no regular a sponge like a Scotch Brite sponge, like you use your. I can make a cab out of that. I mean, if somebody wants a cab out of that, I can literally turn that sponge into a cab,
Oh, boy.
which sounds
Don
weird,
wants to see it.
but yes, and that's the magic of your stabilizers. And I'm telling you guys, these stabilizers, it's the cat's meow. And like I say, the moss agate, the nature of the moss that's running in that clear chalcedony, anytime that breaks the surface, which what you cut or you cab, you're gonna see it. It's gonna be. I mean, you may have to look at it at an angle, look at it really close, but it's not going to be a perfect glass top. You have to if that not stabilize it, you have to coat it.
Cotton ball cab.
Yeah, well, if you mashed a bunch of cotton, I had chili for dinner, so sorry for the gas. If you would take cotton balls, Phil, and mash them into something small, and then just pack them in there good, because they're so wimpy. And if you packed them in there something really good, and I got Opticon, because I would put it in my vacuum chamber, and once they're in the vacuum chamber, and it literally sucks all the air out. As soon as all the air is out, you turn it and it sucks the freaking Opticon in there. And all you have to do is put it in the oven, bake it dry. It's going to be hard as a rock. So yes, you could. Why you would? Yes, you could if you wanted to, but why would you? I don't know. I guess if it's something that you want done. If anybody wants a cotton ball cab, $500 a gram, like Dave sells. Yes, I will do a cotton ball cab if so you want it that much. We can do that. And by the way, and talking about slabs, Brenda, keep him busy.
Oh, geez, I had to keep you busy again. I don't know what he's doing. He runs off on all these tangents that wait before the Opticon, yeah. I don't know.
Oops.
Jerry, what are you looking for?
Oh, relax.
He went in the regular garage. So we had been having nice weather here the past 2 days, but it's not going to last. Next week is going to be terrible.
I was just talking about like different kind of material.
Here we go.
There's also the world of man-made materials. Now, this is all from China. This is what they call goldstone. No, we use this a lot, or I have used it a lot. And because a lot of people like this. I mean, yeah, I know it's not real. It's a man-made stone. And if you ever work this, it would be real similar to like what obsidian is. It's a glass, but it's goldstone. And this piece is green. And although it's green, they still call it goldstone. And here's your regular goldstone. And again, it's real similar to working obsidian. That's gold. And it comes also in purple. Oh, that's got a weird hue to it there, but that's purple. And this stuff is really, really nice. Again, it's a fake stone.
It does a pretty cab.
So yes, it's a fake stone, but it's really nice. And again, if you worked obsidian, it's tough.
Betty's dad had a car this
Oh yeah.
Oh, I bet you that was sweet.
Yes. Brenda's got a quad runner that's white goldstone.
Yes.
Wait, so yeah, this stuff is again, it's tough to work. You know, if you're familiar with obsidian, you know, it's tough to get a polish on it. I mean, there's certain things, again, another one of those stones like obsidian that you have to do a couple different things to get a good polish on it, because it's tough. It's tougher to polish than like a normal stone. And if people aren't cabbers, like your rhyolites, your softer stones, they're easier to polish than a harder stone. So they're easier to polish than a hard stone. A harder stone is harder to polish, but you'll get a better polish. So if that makes sense, you'll get, yeah, you can get a brighter shine. So like this stuff, this death plate stuff, super soft, you know, kind of like on a rhyolite, maybe a little bit softer. But this actually, takes a super cool polish for being a soft stone. So some soft stones being, you know, a soft stone being more silicated, this really looks sharp when you polish it. So
that's funny, Ryan, because I got a bunch of tumble pieces of this.
Yeah. You know, and that's the thing too. Like tumblers, you know, if anybody's looking for tumble lots, you know, I've got, you know, yeah. And you can take, you know, and people too, you can take like the small, like that small cab or the small slab box that I just did, and you can tumble that too. As a matter of fact, in that tumbler back then is a bunch of cab blanks I had done. So I took a slab, I made oval cabs out of them, cut them out, ground down oval because she wants them for her projects, ground them down into a shape. I didn't bevel anything. They're still flat, but made to a shape. And then they're in the tumbler, and in a month and a half, we'll see what they look like, you know. So they'll come out, you know, spot on polished. Probably will they keep their precise size? No, they're going to be like rough, you know, a little bit different shape. So, but they'll be really good polish. So a lot of that stuff in the tumbler, you know, and again, it's all mixed together. I just, you know, it's all this scrap stuff. So different hardnesses. And when, if you're familiar with tumbling, you keep similar hardness stuff together to tumble, you'll get your best results. But it's just all scrap stuff. So I just dump stuff in there. And then when I change grits or check through there to make sure that it's smooth enough, I'll just dump more and more and more in there. So yeah. So again, a lot of different stuff. A lot of it's not even slabbed up because it's winter. It's winter in Wisconsin. Wisconsin, it's June, July, and winter, and that ain't no joke. It's literally like that. It's June, July, and winter. So yes, we will see snow in May, and we will see snow in September. So literally June, July, and August, we will not see snow. The rest of the months out of the year, we can see snow here in Wisconsin. So yeah, let that bite in, right? So again, yeah, if people are interested in stuff, and
you know, this was like pulling teeth and whatever.
Yes,
so
and you have something specific in mind, not necessarily a specific stone, but like a specific color. You know, we can do those kind of options too, you know, with being white, yellow, red, you know, green, blue.
You got some purples.
Yes, some
not
purple
a lot
stuff. Yeah, so you know, that kind of stuff, you know, and then of course, you know, mixed stuff, this, the blah blah blah. Otherwise, you know, like say you can't decide what you want, you can get a mixed box of, you know, I don't know how many pieces, like I say, I could fit inside a little box or a big box. A big box, I think it was like 8, but so whatever. If you know, if anybody, like say, if anybody's interested, if you're not, whatever. If you want cabs, you know, if you're like a wire wrapper, I know Patty's like a wire wrapper. If you know, you're looking for cabs that are already made, you know, I don't sell jewelry at the time because I just make stuff for me. And I don't make stuff for Brenda because she can't wear silver. She only can wear gold. So, well, I guess you know technically you could wear a pendant. So yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, there's that. You know, and you know, because I just you know I don't have the time. You know, and if anybody you know makes jewelry, I know Karen. I know she's probably not here right now. Um, you know, again, you know, making jewelry is kind of a pain in the butt too. It takes a while. You know, you do a lot of this, you know, where yeah, and then you know melt it back down, and then once you melt it back down, you know, you either got this or you got this, and then you start back over, and that again too is more time and more whatever, more money because um you know that's just how silversmithing works. It's kind of a pain in the butt. Can be some pieces. I mean, you know, it just man, it just pops together, lickety split, like this, done, no problems, just great. Other ones, you know, once you start getting to be like bigger stones, and again, you know,
Oh,
when
Karen's been lurking.
Karen, and when you know, like Karen too, like when you're talking more metal, bigger stones. You know, I don't have like an oxygen acetylene torch. You know, I'm doing the you know, my little uh, mini torch and a regular propane torch. I sometimes for bigger pieces, sometimes I'll be using 2 torches to heat up. You know, if you're gonna do like a bracelet or a big pendant with a thicker back, you need heat. You know, heat is your friend.
And right now we're in winter.
And yes, in here it's like 50. I mean, you take the heat off and it's already cooling off. So yes, you
today, how warm did it get today? Right now?
yeah, we got, it was like a heat wave today.
Yes.
We got like 47 today. But if you walked around outside, it didn't feel 47.
No, because everything is snow.
Because yes, the ground, because when the sun starts melting the snow, the moisture gets in the air, and then you got a damp 47. Even though it might be sunny out, it still feels damp. You get a little bit of breeze. It's still freaking icy cold.
I can't walk out there yet. Nothing uneven.
So yeah. So again, you know, just like everything else, you know, it takes time. So time is money, and I'm not going to spend a lot of time. And of course, it was Valentine's Day, and you know, of course, you know, then the cooking and all the normal stuff, the grocery shopping, you know, going, visiting, blah blah blah. Oh, we didn't do that
this week. No.
Oh yeah, you know, you had a doctor's appointment or physical therapy.
Yeah.
Dog nails. So then
I'm doing a lot of physical
mini freaking Pearl that I gotta watch because he's not in here right now. He's probably in the house. He's probably been howling the whole time you're out here because he's got such abandonment syndrome that he's just an absolute spaz. So yeah. So again, you know, and again, it's winter time, so you know, you get
Alrighty.
So, anyhow, So I'm rambling on. All
right. Show your email one more time.
Rambling. It's backwards. Okay, I'll do this. I'll turn it around.
Okay.
Let me take this back off again, and I will turn you around. There's my email. It's VANDERWALJERRY 123 at gmail.com.
He said he doesn't want any what?
And that'll get you to the bat line. What?
You don't want anybody to be sending you nasty stuff?
Oh yeah, maybe.
Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So yeah, so there's that. Let me turn it back around. So yeah, so oh, my thumb. So my thumb, where's that camera at? Oh, right there. So yeah, so yeah, you know, next week, right?
Yep.
Same time, same bat channel.
I hope you guys had a great Valentine's.
Yeah, I hope you know, and the
or if you didn't have a great Valentine's,
yeah, if you're some of the
if
you're some of the people that don't have a significant other right now, and maybe you don't want one, whatever the circumstances are,
that's okay too.
Yes, that's okay too, because sometimes it's much better to not have one. Nuts. So yes, there's that. So you know, so
already,
you know,
Jerry.
See what I mean? Right? Am I right? Yeah. Did you want that? You want like that route all the time? Did you want that? So yeah, so if nothing else, you have us. You have us, the rock people.
We are grateful for every one
yes,
of you.
and I'm so glad that here it is, Valentine's Day, and everybody came out to watch me give Brenda a hard time. Like, hey, well, how can you go wrong with that? So thanks everybody. This was all for the love of rocks, because we love our rocks. So why do rocks?
Thanks, Betty, I need it.
Why do rocks have that power that pulls us all together? Well, because it's Mother Nature, and I mean, just look at them. Rocks are just amazing. So yeah. So anyhow, so we'll end it there, and then I'm going to talk for like another 10 minutes.
No, you're not.
So we'll end it here.
No. You got to get ready for work tomorrow. He's off at 4.
So
4 in the morning he leaves.
So yes. So thanks everybody for showing up and visiting. And
we love you.
Hope I didn't bore you all to death. Yeah, love you guys. Take care. I will see you soon in a rock room near you. Live long and prosper. Everybody, have a good one. How do I stop this again?
You do this every time.